Brad Pitt was born in Shawnee, Oklahoma, on December 18, 1963. He grew up in a loving family with two siblings. His father, William, was a businessman, and his mother, Jane, was a schoolteacher. From a young age, his parents taught him the values of hard work and kindness. But life was not always easy for Brad. His family moved around a lot when he was a child. This made it hard for him to make lasting friends. He often felt lonely, but those feelings helped him learn about himself and his emotions. He discovered the importance of resilience and perseverance when facing challenges. Brad grew up in the 1970s and 1980s, a time of social change in America. The world was changing, and new ideas were blooming everywhere. With his keen sense of observation, he watched people and their emotions. This made him more aware of his feelings. While he was not always sure of himself, he saw how others dealt with their own struggles. This taught him valuable lessons that would guide him later in life. While attending high school, Brad found his passion for acting. He joined the drama club and loved being on stage. It allowed him to express himself in ways he never could in real life. However, it was not always easy for him. There were moments when he felt nervous and anxious before performances. These experiences helped him understand that it was okay to be afraid. He learned that facing his fears would help him grow stronger. Each time he stepped onto the stage, he felt a rush of confidence that carried over into his daily life. After high school, he went to college at the University of Missouri. There, he studied journalism and advertising, but his heart was still in acting. He wanted to try his hand at a real acting career. It took a lot of courage to move to Los Angeles, a city known for its tough competition and bright lights. Brad faced many rejections as he auditioned for parts. Each no felt like a blow to his spirit. However, he refused to give up. He remembered the lessons from his childhood, to be resilient and to always believe in oneself. Through these experiences, he grew emotionally. He learned about the importance of empathy, both for himself and for Andren. He realized that everyone has their struggles, just like he did. This understanding helped him connect with others on a deeper level. It filled him with hope and encouraged him to help others who faced their own battles. In these early years, Brad Pitt was changed forever. Although his pathway was filled with uncertainty, he developed the skills he would need to face the world. He admired the power of storytelling and wanted to inspire others with his journey. His early life taught him that it is not where you begin but how hard you fight to achieve your dreams. This belief would follow him throughout his life, lighting the way for his future successes. With hope in his heart, Brad knew he held the power to transform not only himself but also the world around him. As Brad Pitt stepped into his acting career, he faced a turning point that would change his life. It was the moment he realized that acting was not just about being famous, it was about understanding emotions. This discovery hit him during a small theater performance. He played a character who felt lost and alone, much like he had felt at various points in his childhood. While acting, he tapped into his own feelings of isolation. This connection opened his heart and mind. He began to see how sharing emotions with others could create strong bonds. In that moment, he understood the power of emotional intelligence. With this realization, Brad started to navigate his feelings in a new way. He learned to look at his emotions and think about them. Instead of hiding his fear and anxiety, he faced them head-on. This practice helped him grow. He began to recognize when he felt nervous before auditions. He learned that it was okay to feel scared. He could take a deep breath and still try his best. This new awareness made him stronger. It taught him that emotions could guide him rather than control him. However, the road ahead was not easy. As his career began to gain momentum, Brad faced many challenges. The pressure of being in the spotlight took a toll on him. Critics voiced their opinions more loudly than ever. Some reviews were harsh and hurtful. They questioned his acting ability and even made fun of his choices. Each negative comment stung like a bee. For a while, he let the hurt seep into his emotions. He struggled with self-doubt. Would he be good enough? Would people ever see his true talent? Through these trials, Brad had to dig deep within himself. He remembered the importance of resilience that he had learned in his youth. Instead of allowing criticism to defeat him, he would read the feedback but not let it define him. He realized that everyone, no matter how successful, faces setbacks. It was not just about talent, it was also about persistence and commitment to growth. Each rejection became a lesson. He focused on understanding why he felt rejected and worked to improve himself. This helped him manage his feelings better. During this time, Brad also faced difficulties in his personal relationships. As his fame grew, so did the distance between him and his old friends. Some began to treat him differently. It was painful for him to feel disconnected from people he once leaned on. Using his emotional intelligence, he took the time to listen to his friends. He tried to understand their feelings. This allowed him to mend relationships. He learned to express his emotions honestly and openly. Doing so built stronger ties and understanding. He learned that asking for help and showing vulnerability could make relationships stronger, not weaker. In the midst of these challenges, hope began to bloom again. Brad saw that he was becoming a better actor and person. He was learning to embrace the highs and lows of his career. Each struggle taught him more about emotional awareness and growth. This journey placed him in control of his path. He fully knew that challenges could shape a person, but it was how one responded to these challenges that truly mattered. With determination, Brad continued to climb, transforming his setbacks into stepping stones for future success. As Brad continued to push through the challenges in his life, he understood that hard work and dedication were key to his success. With each audition and each rejection, he learned more about himself. He realized that becoming an actor was not just about being seen on screen, it was also about understanding feelings and developing emotional skills. He set a goal to build his emotional intelligence further. To do this, he practiced self-regulation. Brad learned the importance of controlling his emotions, especially when faced with stress and pressure. Instead of reacting with anger or sadness to criticism, he took a step back. He would breathe deeply and think before speaking. This practice helped him stay calm during tough times. Mindfulness became an essential tool for Brad. He discovered that being present in the moment helped him become more aware of his thoughts and feelings. He started meditating for a few minutes each day. This quiet time allowed him to reflect on his emotions and let go of any negativity. During meditation, he would focus on his breath, which helped ease his worries about auditions and public opinions. This simple practice helped him center himself, making it easier to handle difficult emotions. Empathy also grew within Brad as he worked on himself. He learned to connect with others on a deeper level. This understanding filled him with compassion for those around him. When he saw others struggle, he would remember his own battles. He reached out to peers in the industry and shared his experiences with them. They often faced similar challenges, and he listened to their stories. By offering support and encouragement, he created friendships based on genuine care. This connection brought warmth to his heart and helped strengthen his emotional intelligence. As he grew in empathy, Brad's social skills blossomed. He became better at communicating and building relationships. He practiced being open and honest in his conversations. One day, he had a tough conversation with a director who had given him harsh feedback. Instead of responding with frustration, Brad took time to listen. He asked questions to understand the director's viewpoint. This willingness to hear others transformed their dynamic and helped him improve his craft. Their mutual respect grew, and he learned that building connections could turn conflicts into opportunities for growth. However, as he made strides in his personal development, the pressures of fame intensified. Brad found that being in the spotlight also invited unwanted attention. Media scrutiny over his relationships and choices created stress. Many times, he would feel the weight of the world on his shoulders. When rumors spread about him, they hurt deeply. Instead of letting the negative stories affect him, Brad leaned on his new skills. He used self-regulation to manage his feelings. When faced with questions from reporters, he chose his words carefully. By remaining calm in interviews, he showed that he had control over his responses. Brad's hard work and dedication paid off amidst these challenges. With each experience, he became a more grounded individual. Each challenge taught him more about emotional strength and how to rise above negativity. He understood that transforming one's mindset takes time and effort. Each step forward felt like a victory. He welcomed every struggle as a lesson learned. This journey of emotional growth filled him with hope for the future. Brad believed strongly that he could make a difference, not only in his life but also in the lives of others. His dedication to emotional intelligence made him feel ready to seize the opportunities that lay ahead. Brad Pitt's journey reached a pivotal moment that would test all he had learned about emotional intelligence. It was a day he would never forget. He was set to star in a major film, one that everyone was excited about. The pressure was immense, and the expectations were sky-high. Weeks before the film's release, a rumor began to spread. This rumor claimed that he was hard to work with and had conflicts with the director. It felt like an explosion. Media outlets picked it up, and soon the world was talking. Comments poured in from fans and critics alike, casting doubt on his character and talent. At this moment, Brad felt the weight of disappointment pressing heavily on him. How could this be happening now, after all the hard work and emotional growth? Instead of curling up with sadness, Brad made a choice. He decided to confront this situation head-on. He would not let negativity overshadow his journey. This choice was his first step toward taking control of his reaction. He knew he needed to ensure his story was heard, not only to clear his name but also to show his emotional honesty. Brad chose to address the issue openly. During a press conference, he decided to speak his truth. The room was filled with cameras and eager reporters. Quaking slightly inside, he took a deep breath. Instead of shifting blame or hiding behind rehearsed responses, he shared his experience. He spoke about the way he cared for his work and his team. He also admitted that he had his challenges, just like everyone else. This frankness surprised many. By being open and transparent, he not only defended his character, but he also showcased his growth as a person. As he spoke, Brad could feel the room's energy shift. His honesty radiated warmth and connected him with his audience. People were no longer just listening to hear about the scandal, they were moved by his story. Some even nodded in agreement, relating to his challenges. Brad watched the initial skepticism change into understanding and compassion. This was the power of emotional intelligence in action. It allowed him to connect, not just with critics but with fans, turning an intense moment into something powerful. Although the media did not stop immediately, Brad saw that he had gained something invaluable. He had faced his fears, and in doing so, he transformed the negativity into a moment of empowerment. Throughout this experience, he turned inward to stay balanced. He practiced self-regulation to keep his emotions steady. Amid the chaos, he refocused on gratitude, appreciating the support of his true friends and fans. This reflection reminded him of the support that carried him forward, showing him that even in difficult times, light can break through the darkness. As his message resonated with the audience, Brad began to feel renewed energy. He realized that his true power lay not in avoiding challenges but in confronting them. The path to resilience was once again shaped by his honesty and openness. Inspired by his emotional courage, he encouraged those around him to embrace their struggles. Brad became a symbol of overcoming, a reminder that even in our hardest moments, we have the capacity to rise and redefine our stories. With each passing day, the tide began to turn. Brad's commitment to facing adversity not only elevated his own spirit but also inspired others to find strength in their emotional struggles. Hope flickered brighter than ever as he moved forward, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As Brad faced the storm of rumors and criticism, he tapped into the emotional intelligence he had built over the years. Instead of allowing anger or sadness to consume him, he embraced resilience. He understood that this was a defining moment in his life. By using his emotional skills, he shifted his focus. Rather than viewing the backlash only as negativity, he saw it as an opportunity. This perspective was powerful. It allowed him to redirect his energy into something positive. Brad began to reach out to his peers and his fans. Using empathy, he shared his feelings and vulnerabilities. He knew that many people faced their battles, just like him. In interviews, he talked openly about what he was experiencing. He explained that every actor faces judgment, and it is not easy. His willingness to share brought hope to others. Fans reached out with support, thanking him for being real and honest. This connection strengthened the bond he had with them. Although it was challenging, Brad chose a path that demonstrated self-control. When new negative stories emerged, he decided not to engage in anger or retaliation. Instead, he focused on completing the film with passion and dedication. This commitment shone through in his work. His focus became a source of inspiration for his crew and fellow actors. They watched how he managed stress. This sparked a sense of unity among them. They began to support each other because they were inspired by his strength. As filming progressed, Brad's resilience grew. He used what he learned to motivate others. Behind the scenes, he shared words of encouragement with his team. He reminded them that challenges are part of the journey. Everyone makes mistakes, and it's okay to feel vulnerable. By communicating this, Brad helped to create a safe space where everyone felt understood. He inspired them to give their best. This approach fostered collaboration and team spirit. It changed the atmosphere on set. Through these experiences, Brad began to see how his emotional intelligence was transforming his career. Instead of merely being an actor, he was becoming a leader. His ability to connect with people and his empathy made a real difference. The film not only became a success because of his talent, but it also became a celebration of teamwork and connection. Audiences began to notice these values in his performances. They appreciated that there was a deeper message in his work. When the film premiered, critics praised Brad not just for his acting but for the spirit of resilience he embodied. This success was not just for him, it belonged to everyone who had shared the journey with him. He learned that his story could inspire others to be brave and authentic. The warmth and honesty he displayed resonated deeply with fans. They felt empowered by his example to face their challenges. Brad's emotional journey illustrated how emotional intelligence could unlock potential and drive change. The difficult times became stepping stones for growth and transformation. In trusting his emotional practices, he navigated through unrest. He found that life's challenges can lead to remarkable moments of achievement. With a renewed spirit, Brad continued his journey with hope, ready to impact the world and inspiring countless individuals to embrace their own emotional strength as well. As Brad continued to face the challenges in his life, he often thought about those who inspired him. One name stood out: Oprah Winfrey. Like Brad, Oprah had a dream to achieve something meaningful. She wanted to share stories and bring hope to others, but her path was filled with obstacles. She faced many setbacks during her early years. Growing up in very tough conditions, she experienced poverty and hardship. These challenges could have easily crushed her spirit, but instead, they fueled her determination. Oprah's journey was not easy. Many people doubted her because of her background. For a long time, she struggled to find her voice. People around her tried to silence her hopes. It seemed like the odds were against her. However, Oprah knew that she had something special to offer. She wanted to uplift and inspire. No matter how difficult things became, she held on to her dreams tightly. At times, the weight of her struggles felt heavy. She faced many rejections in her career. Oprah applied for a job as a news anchor and was told she was too emotional. This news was painful for her. However, rather than giving in to despair, she used these moments to push forward. This time, she decided not to let fear defeat her. Oprah shifted her focus. She took each setback as a lesson to grow stronger. As Brad learned about Oprah's life, he found strength in her story. Here was a woman who faced hardship but kept believing in herself. She began to change the conversation around her life. She did not let others define her. Instead, she became the voice of many seeking change and hope. This determination inspired Brad. It made him realize that his challenges were just stepping stones. He could follow Oprah's example and turn his struggles into triumphs. Inspired by her journey, Brad felt a surge of determination. He realized that he could take charge of his own narrative. The critics who once brought him down were simply part of a larger story. He could use their words as fuel for his fire. Instead of viewing them as obstacles, he began seeing them as opportunities to rise higher. This shift in thinking filled him with hope. Fueled by this newfound spirit, Brad decided to make a pivotal choice. He would not let doubt be part of his story, just like Oprah had refused. He understood that he could create meaningful connections through challenges. As he stepped out to face his audience again, he chose words that resonated deeply, echoing the positivity he would find from Oprah's story. His decision to be open and relatable drew people closer. The audience reacted with warmth, showing their support. Something magical happened as Brad took these steps. The dark clouds of negativity began to lift. The stories of struggle morphed into ones of hope and success. Brad felt a renewed sense of purpose. Like Oprah, he wanted to inspire others. He realized they all have unique stories worth sharing. With this strong determination, Brad felt ready to take on whatever awaited him. The mood was no longer dull and heavy, it was filled with energy and optimism. Brad's spirit ignited that day, just like Oprah's, reminding him and others that dreams could be reached no matter the setbacks faced along the way. After the intense moments Brad experienced, he needed time to reflect on everything that had occurred. The aftermath of facing his challenges brought about several feelings. Brad understood that he had grown immensely through the ups and downs he had encountered. Sitting quietly in his favorite spot, he thought about the journey. Each step, every word that had been spoken in the media, had shaped him in positive ways. He realized that the emotional intelligence he had built was a vital tool. It had not only helped him face challenges but also allowed him to connect with others on a deeper level. Brad began to consider how he could use his lessons to help others. He had not faced his obstacles alone, and he wanted to support anyone who was struggling, just as he had once done. This thought filled him with purpose. He defined a new goal for himself: to share his story and the insights he gained in a way that would uplift others. Brad also wanted to improve his own emotional well-being further. To do this, he returned to the practices that had helped him before. He scheduled time to meditate each day. This time reminded him to stay grounded and positive. During meditation, he reflected on his experiences, acknowledging both the struggles and the joys. He remembered how it felt to embrace vulnerability. This practice allowed him to appreciate the growth that had taken place. Moreover, he began to seek ways to deepen his connections with friends and family. He reached out to those who had supported him during his difficult moments. Brad took time to listen to their stories, discovering new insights together. One evening, he invited a few close friends over for dinner. They shared laughter and memories, but he also asked them about their own struggles. This opened a dialogue, creating a safe space for everyone to express their feelings. Brad felt a sense of fulfillment in knowing that by focusing on others, he was simultaneously nurturing his emotional health. Through his reflection, an important change occurred within Brad. He started to embrace his role as a mentor. He thought about young actors facing the same uncertainties he once faced. Brad decided to give back to the community by organizing workshops and discussions. These events were created to empower others to trust their emotions and embrace their unique paths. As he began to share his journey, he watched as others opened up about their struggles. This connection sparked hope in many. With every workshop, Brad witnessed powerful transformations. Individual stories became sources of inspiration, creating a ripple effect of positive change. As others connected and healed, he felt a sense of joy. The emotional growth he had experienced became a shared journey with those around him. Encouraged by their progress, Brad vowed to continue this path. Now, instead of simply trying to overcome his own challenges, he embraced the idea of community. He understood that by helping others grow emotionally, he was also nurturing his well-being. The energy shifted. What had once been a difficult journey transformed into a collective endeavor toward healing and empowerment. As Brad looked back at how far he had come, he knew this was only the beginning. The challenges would always be there, but he had the tools now to face them, both for himself and others. Filled with hope, he looked forward to building a future where everyone felt confident to express themselves and grow together. As Brad continued on his journey of empowerment, he discovered a newfound passion for using emotional intelligence not just for himself but also to uplift others. His experiences had taught him invaluable lessons that he now wanted to share with everyone around him. Each day, he focused on how he could make a positive impact in the lives of others. Through workshops and small group discussions, he began to create an environment where everyone felt safe to express their feelings. Brad realized that sharing his own story of struggle and growth opened doors for many people. When he talked about facing doubt and fear, others could see a reflection of their own journeys. This connection inspired them to speak openly. The conversations became a source of empowerment for everyone involved. Brad encouraged them not to shy away from their emotions. Instead, he taught them to embrace their feelings. He guided them to understand that acknowledging emotions could lead to real growth. One of the biggest shifts in Brad's approach was in nurturing a growth-oriented mindset. He emphasized the idea that challenges were opportunities to learn. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, he and his friends began to see them as stepping stones. During his workshops, he often shared his favorite phrase, "Every obstacle is a chance to grow stronger." He noticed the more they repeated this mantra, the more everyone began to believe it. Through tears and laughter, Brad created a space filled with hope. Together, they celebrated every small success and every lesson learned. The energy shifted from fear of failure to excitement about new possibilities. This atmosphere filled Brad with joy. Seeing how others transformed fueled his desire to keep going. He knew that everyone within that space had untapped potential waiting to be awakened. With each passing session, Brad became a beacon of inspiration. He used stories of famous figures, like Oprah Winfrey, to illustrate how resilience could lead to greatness. He highlighted the fact that those who faced struggles often emerged even stronger. This message resonated deeply, allowing others to see their own paths in a new light. As the group connected more, they began to empower one another. People exchanged ideas and worked together to solve problems. Their shared experiences created a bond that was unbreakable. Brad was proud to witness how they acted as a supportive community. His emotional intelligence continued to thrive, using empathy and encouragement to lead the way. No longer did they fear criticism or judgment. Instead, they approached life with an open heart and mind. They celebrated each other's victories, large and small. The positive energy in the group helped foster a safe environment. Everyone left each workshop feeling inspired and ready to take on challenges. Brad's own life transformed alongside this community. He no longer just worked toward his own dreams, he helped others reach for theirs. His heart swelled with pride as he saw friends and participants grow in confidence. They learned to stand tall and believe in themselves. Brad knew that each step they took together was a part of a larger journey toward emotional empowerment. As he reflected on this journey of compassion, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. He had become a guide, helping others navigate the same waters he had once struggled through. The focus shifted from merely overcoming obstacles to creating a ripple effect of positivity and growth. With each interaction, they built a world where everyone felt valued and inspired. Together, they carved out a path to emotional excellence, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. As Brad continued to inspire those around him, he remembered someone else with a powerful story, J.K. Rowling. She had always dreamed of becoming a writer, wanting to share her world of Harry Potter with others. Yet, her journey was not smooth. At one point, she faced many rejections from publishers. They told her that her story would never sell. With no money and struggling to support herself alone, things often felt very hopeless. Despite the challenges, J.K. never gave up on her dream. She used each setback as a lesson instead of a stopping point. Brad found this deeply inspiring. Here was a real person who faced hard times, yet she kept pressing on. Instead of allowing her dreams to fade, J.K. transformed her pain into motivation. This resilience solidified her growth and prepared her for success. Just like J.K., Brad realized that the path to achieving dreams is not always clear. It requires action and determination. He began to think about the steps he could take to solidify his own growth and help others do the same. He wanted to show everyone that they could turn their aspirations into reality, just like J.K. had. First and foremost, Brad encouraged everyone to set clear and meaningful goals. If people can visualize their dreams, they would feel motivated to pursue them. He showed them the importance of writing down what they want to achieve. This simple act creates a sense of commitment. It reminds them of what they are aiming for. Next, he emphasized the significance of persistence. Brad taught through example. Whenever he faced difficulties in his own career, he practiced resilience. He reminded his friends that setbacks do not mean failure, they are simply part of the journey. When J.K. Rowling faced rejection, she did not let it discourage her. Instead, it motivated her to work harder on her story. In gatherings, Brad encouraged everyone to share their own challenges. This sharing made them feel less alone. When people could express their struggles openly, they found support in each other. As a group, they became united, pushing one another toward their goals. They all learned from one another's experiences, celebrating small victories together. Brad made the process fun and engaging, uplifting the whole group. Additionally, he introduced the practice of self-reflection. He encouraged everyone to set aside time to think about their lives. Sometimes, it can be hard to know what to achieve or how to succeed. By taking a moment to reflect, people can gain clarity on what matters most to them. Thoughtful questions like, "What truly makes me happy?" or "What are my strengths?" helped others discover their paths. Finally, Brad motivated everyone to take action. After discussing their dreams and reflecting on their desires, action was needed to bring aspirations to life. He organized activities that allowed each person to take their first step toward their goal. This could be as simple as starting a new hobby or reaching out to someone who inspires them. The first step can feel powerful, sparking excitement that encourages further actions. Brad's birthday celebration soon approached, and the entire group was buzzing with energy. They were not just celebrating him but also their collective journey toward empowerment. When he blew out the candles, he made a wish for everyone to chase their dreams fearlessly. He believed that with effort, commitment, and emotional intelligence, they could all achieve greatness, just like J.K. Rowling. With every step they took together, they forged a path filled with hope, growth, and a vibrant sense of community. The dreamers were transforming into doers, ready to embrace their journeys with open hearts and determined minds. As Brad looked back on his journey, he felt immense gratitude for where he was today. The challenges he once faced had transformed into stepping stones that shaped him in significant ways. Now, he was not only thriving in his acting career but also actively working to empower others. Through workshops and discussions, he continued to inspire people to embrace their emotions and pursue their dreams. Brad was dedicated to helping others find their paths. He had created a popular emotional intelligence program, focusing on building resilience and connection. Each week, he gathered groups of individuals eager to learn. They shared stories, laughed together, and supported each other's journeys. For many, these sessions became a safe haven where they could explore their feelings and challenges. Brad knew that this community was essential for emotional growth. In addition to his workshops, he also took time to write. Inspired by his own experiences, he started working on a book about emotional intelligence. In it, he detailed his struggles, victories, and what he learned along the way. He wanted to show others that it was possible to overcome challenges and live a fulfilling life. Writing became a way for him to express his thoughts and help readers connect with their feelings. Brad cherished the friendships he had built over time. The bonds created during those workshops felt unbreakable. Together, they had navigated hardships, shared success stories, and celebrated personal growth. Much like the community he had formed, his own circle of friends provided him with unwavering support. They were there when he needed them the most, reminding him that he was never alone. This connection fueled his passion for encouraging self-discovery in others. Despite his successes, Brad remained humble. He knew that life would continue to bring challenges, and he welcomed that uncertainty. Each new experience was an opportunity to learn and grow. Rather than fearing setbacks, he saw them as chapters in a larger story. With his newfound resilience, he felt prepared to tackle whatever life threw his way. He reminded himself and others that emotional strength is built through both successes and failures. As his book neared completion, Brad felt excitement bubbling within him. He imagined the impact his words could have on readers. He wanted them to realize that it's okay to be vulnerable and face their emotions head-on. Each page would serve as both encouragement and a guide, sharing his belief that everyone has the power to change their lives. Looking ahead, Brad set goals for the future. He dreamed of expanding his workshops to reach larger audiences. He wished to travel to new places, meeting people who could benefit from his message of empowerment. His mission was clear: to show that through emotional intelligence, anyone can lead a fulfilling and meaningful life. Brad was a true testament to the power of transformation. He had taken his struggles and turned them into a guiding light for himself and others. Each step of his journey reinforced a simple truth: that within every challenge lies the seed of growth. With passion and purpose, he faced the future with a hopeful heart, ready to embrace new adventures filled with inspiration, connection, and endless possibilities. The journey was far from over, it was only the beginning. Brad's journey taught him invaluable lessons that he was eager to share with the world. One of the most important lessons was the power of resilience. Despite facing criticism and setbacks, Brad learned that it was crucial to keep pushing forward. He often reminded his friends that challenges do not define them but instead shape who they can become. This message encouraged others to embrace their struggles, knowing that perseverance could lead to beautiful outcomes. Another lesson Brad emphasized was the importance of empathy. Throughout his experiences, he discovered that understanding others' feelings made a significant difference in building connections. Brad knew that by listening and being present for others, he could create a supportive environment. His workshops became a platform where people could share their emotions openly and without fear. This culture of empathy not only empowered individuals but also strengthened their bonds with one another. Brad also highlighted the significance of self-reflection. He understood that taking the time to think about one's feelings brings clarity and growth. Reflecting on what had worked and what had not allowed him to improve continually. He encouraged readers to set aside a few moments each week for self-check-ins. Simple questions, like, "What made me happy?" or "What challenged me today?" could spark meaningful insights and pave the way for positive change. As Brad continued his work, he made an impact in the world of emotional intelligence. His book became a beacon of hope, guiding countless people on how to build their emotional strength. Readers felt connected to Brad's story, finding courage in his vulnerability. Through his writing, he inspired many to confront their fears and embrace their true selves. They saw that growth was possible, no matter where they started. In his workshops, Brad observed how the lessons he shared created ripples of change. Participants began to support one another more actively, leading to a community founded on trust and encouragement. This transformation showcased the incredible impact of emotional intelligence in everyday life. The skills they acquired not only benefited their personal lives but also changed their interactions at work and beyond. The skills spread like wildfire, and every person reached out to others, creating a community of empathy and strength. Brad's legacy extended beyond his workshops and written works. He became a role model for many, showing that emotional intelligence is not just a skill but a way of life. He made it clear that anyone can harness the power of their emotions to create a brighter future. This model of empowerment encouraged readers to believe in themselves and strive for their dreams. Brad often reflected on his own journey, feeling grateful for the lessons learned along the way. Each challenge had contributed to his growth and provided him with a purpose. As he shared this knowledge, he felt proud of the people who emerged stronger from his teachings. In a world filled with pressures and struggles, Brad's story offered hope. He inspired many to take the first step toward self-discovery and to encourage others to do the same. Though Brad's journey was far from over, he knew that the impact he made would resonate for years to come. The legacy he built would continue to empower future generations to embrace their feelings, fostering a world filled with understanding and compassion. With hope in his heart, Brad moved forward, ready to see where this beautiful journey would take him next.